Okay, so as we kick off Thanksgiving here, for those of you who celebrate, by the way, wishing you the very best. For those of you who don't, happy Thursday. Um, we've got a week here of retracing followed by a big rebound. It's been kind of a tale of two halves. Over the past 24 hours, things have looked pretty good. Over the past week, things still look very good. But yeah, Monday and Tuesday, even going back to Sunday, we kind of had a 3 day pullback in the markets that spooked some people. It isn't a sizable pullback. It may seem like it, when we've seen nothing but up, up, up over the past 2.5 months or so. But here we are with Bitcoin actually down 2.1%. But yeah, it's actually in the minority, as this has been kind of the week of altcoin parties. Uh, for the most part, you can see here Stellar up 105% over the past week. It's more than doubled. Celestia up its plus 71%, Phantom at plus 59%. These are the three most notable ones among the top 60-ish market caps. And I'd be a little bit concerned about the amount of euphoria going on, especially with Stellar, which has spent a few days, I should say, in the top 5 of the top trending tokens, meaning there's a lot of FOMO going on with that asset in particular. Doesn't mean it can't continue to climb in the long term, but typically when you see it start to trend, it means that a top is likely to form due to all of the new retail traders that are jumping on the bandwagon. I wanted to highlight this. The amount of key stakeholder accumulation is still looking pretty strong. Yes, we've had a kind of a few days of flattening out here, but it's certainly not a pullback. We've really, all the way back to about October 13th, seen nothing but gains day after day, with maybe just a few exceptions right there and right there where it flattens out. But almost every day, it's like the wallets with 10 or more Bitcoin are just accumulating and accumulating, getting more and more coins packed into their wallets. And yes, that usually means that prices follow upward on a pretty consistent basis. You can see even when they're flat, prices can get a little unpredictable, but when they really start to move up, good things tend to happen to the price. Not always immediately. Sometimes it might take a few weeks, but yeah, this is an absurd level of accumulation in a relatively short period of time. Supply held by miners, I should still mention, is going down, even though some miners are mixed into this 10 plus BTC wallet group, but a lot of them aren't. And the mining tokens held is kind of dropping pretty dramatically, and has all year long. I also want to mention the fact that if I add Tether and USD coin here, they're continuing to go down. I would still like to see a little more uptick in, the $100K to $10 million holders and their holdings of stablecoins. But for now, it's a little bit shaky. It just means that a lot of stablecoins have been swapped for Bitcoin over the past 2.5 months without much new fiat coming in to replenish their dry powder, if you will. What does look better is the Bitcoin supply and exchanges just continuing to plummet, according to all wallets that we track, which is more or less accurate these days. About 8.21% of Bitcoin is on exchanges. That's a far cry from, say, May 30th, where we were way up at 10.06. If we go back even further in time, let's go back 4 years, you can see how much things have really dropped down, especially just a couple months after COVID kicked off. 16.71%. I take that back. This is May 2021. So roughly 3.5 years ago, there was just about double, close to double the amount of, from a percentage standpoint, supply of Bitcoin on exchanges. Meanwhile, look at this. While we're in this long perspective, take a look at Tether and the 100K. This is all of the supply and how it's moved more and more onto exchanges. Huge rise since October 30th to support the rally that's been going on, especially when November 5th kicked off with the Trump pump and all of that. So yeah, USD coin doing a little bit of jumping as well, but compared to Tether, it's just unbelievable what's going on there. Now about $34.96 billion of Tether on exchanges and about $4.95 billion of USD coin. Just these two, that means there's about $40 billion, give or take, on exchanges right now. Another thing I wanted to mention, this was a post I put up earlier today about the mean dollar invested age. I know the text is covering up this line a little bit, but for the most part, the thing to take away is the average age of Bitcoin in wallets has plummeted significantly. And that may sound bad, but it's actually good. We want to see coins moving to new wallets on a regular basis. And this, as soon as we got to this drop right here, notice how this was precisely when Bitcoin's big rally started. It's not a coincidence. This was a lot of whales moving stagnant coins out of their wallets and back into circulation, so retail traders can start to healthily move them around and increase the utility of Bitcoin. So in this green portion, I wrote healthy drop in mean dollar invested age, indicative of major stagnant wallets moving older supply back into circulation, creating more bullish momentum. Compared to this era from November 2022 all the way to about late September, early October 2023, concerning rise in mean dollar invested age, indicative of major stagnant wallets hodling supply for long periods of time, not a typo, got to go with the memes, hodling supply for long periods of time, creating more unpredictable / bearish momentum. So yes, the line just in the past couple of weeks is continuing to go down, and that is a great sign that this bull rally likely is not done yet. We might see some choppiness. Don't expect for prices to just instantly go up every day that mean dollar invested age goes down. But from a mid or long-term perspective, this is one of the best signals that sentiment offers and something we're really proud of, because there is a very impressive correlation with prices going up as soon as we start seeing mean dollar invested age go down. So that's great news right there. And then one more quick update on the activity matrix. If I go to the detailed view, these boxes are not just programmed to be red and orange. They're programmed to go anywhere between red, orange, yellow, greenish blue to blue. And yeah, the majority of crypto is still very much seeing red or orange boxes, which indicates their network activity is still off the charts, not literally off the charts, but very high compared to their 3-month average, indicating across the board, all of these altcoins, there's justification that these price rallies have meaning and an explanation behind them, because network growth, whale transactions, mean dollar age, all of this stuff is just ballooning right now in the bullish direction. I would be a little bit worried if you start seeing an asset going through the roof price-wise, especially ahead of the other altcoins, and then they're one of the most active networks. That usually means there's some FOMO. But this is an interesting time because almost every asset is up right now. But if we go to the leaderboard, there's a few that are particularly kind of middle of the road. Basically, Power Ledger and Injective are the two I'm very interested in. There's no guarantee that they're going to lead the pack over the next week or so, but this suggests that they could have some bull rallies in them, assuming Bitcoin keeps its legs. Don't be surprised to see Power Ledger and Injective putting on some impressive runs because they've been rather unassuming. Yes, they've been climbing just like all altcoins have, but they certainly aren't surging ahead of all the other crypto altcoins right now. So those are two that I'm keeping my eye on right now. Things could change over time, but if we just look at it on the detailed map here, it's always in alphabetical order. So if I go to P for Power Ledger, there we go. Yeah, it's active addresses and network growth have just been through the roof for the last 5 days. We can see whale transactions are up there too. I'm using these headers. I know they're very small on the screen, but just know it's extremely, extremely hot on the network right now. The other one, Injective, kind of the same thing, orange and red all throughout the past week for active addresses and network activity. And now whale transactions, social dominance, even coins moving off of the exchanges are looking really good. Mean dollar invested age is going down. Age consumed looks good. So across the board for those two assets, they in particular are seeing overwhelmingly high network activity right now, despite, for example, Injective actually seeing a 4% drop in the past 24 hours. Most assets are not down in the past 24 hours. So that could be very interesting there. Let's see how it plays out. This is obviously not investment advice. I'm not going to suggest you run to your nearest exchange and buy any of these assets, but probability-wise, we do see an increase in rise likelihood when we see this kind of setup for things like Injective and Power Ledger. So we'll see how it goes. The timing may not be immediate, but I wanted to point those out because the activity matrix is always suggesting coins that even I almost never am checking. So I hope this was all helpful. Just wanted to give a quick update for those of you who are anticipating the This Week in Crypto stream. Yes, we will be back for Friday at the usual 7:30 a.m. PST. I think that currently is 3:30 p.m. UTC. I won't be there though. Our president and founder and CEO, Maxim, will be leading the show, and he has some great insights about the market. So I hope you can tune in live and ask him some questions. Otherwise, feel free to watch the replay. Again, happy holidays, whatever you may or may not be celebrating at this moment. And happy trading. Be safe.